Okay. Can I start now? Yeah. Welcome once again. Now we want to do the practical aspect of what I've just explained to you. The reason why I'm showing this screen is because when we launch our Visual Studio, yeah, these are the ones you've browsed so far on your framework. It will show to you. If you don't want to have it, you can unpin it or delete it. It's fine. But the reason why I'm showing you this screen is that if you launch a Visual Studio and you see this screen, so that you know what to do. So now for me to be able to teach you what I've shown you in the slide, I'm going to create a project and which everyone is going to replicate as well. So if you want to create a project, you can remember that during our last session, if you install your Visual Studio and your installer is running and you want to do your manage extension, you need to go to continue without code, which we've done last week. So when you go to continue without code, you can integrate your spec flow, because if you don't integrate your spec flow, you won't be able to create projects and selecting spec flow as part of your template as well. But because we've done that class, when you launch your Visual Studio, you just go to create a new project. It opens this particular template for you. So we've got C#, we've got so many things here. You can filter by C#. You can see our filter by C# by putting C#. You can filter by anything. If you're a developer, if you want to do JavaScript, you just filter. But as for us tester, you just filter by C#, and you can search here spec flow. So once you're able to see this spec flow, that means you've done the right thing by integrating your spec flow. You just select it. If you select it, the reason why you need to select it so that you're sure of what you're doing, and you can see that it's actually showed this blue color to say that, yeah, you selected it. Then you go to next, and this is very good. At least it's telling you what else to do. Like, we did the training, and some people might have forgotten how the step went. But now that I'm doing it again, you can always flag back and remember that, oh, this is how to create a project. Now, to create a project, you can give it a project name. When you join a company, they will tell you the project you're working on. For instance, you're in Blue Sky now. Everybody have a project. We have Prep Major 1, we have Blue Sky, we have CAMS, we have Rates Given. Those are your project name because you might be fortunate to set up a framework in your working place or to work with an existing framework. So if you're setting up a framework in your working place, you need to give it a title here, the name of your project. So now we want to give a project name. I can call it Blue Sky. So you can see my project name is Blue Sky Tutor Training. And once you give it a name, please, you start your project name with there's something we call camel case in coding. And you have to use that as well. The code will not tolerate you putting space when you're creating a project. It won't even accept it. It might throw error. And also, if you start with a capital letter, because it's also kind of building this particular project name that you've supplied, you understand that this is Blue Sky Tutor and Training. Yeah. So you need to start those words with a capital and the rest with a lowercase. And your location matters a lot, please. When you select your location, if you don't know this location, you might be lost, because some of us, we don't like to pin our Visual Studio to our taskbar. And if you don't like to pin it and you don't even know where the Visual Studio is, it will be difficult to know where the location of that project is as well in your file explorer. So if you know where the location is, you can easily go from the location of your project and just click on the Visual Studio there, and it launch your Visual Studio for you. So I will use this particular one for now, because it will automatically set a default for you to say that user, my name, my source, and my repo. And also, you can also click here to say that place solution and project in the same directory, or you can uncheck, it's fine. You click on create, and the next template is for you to select the framework, because this is part of your interview as well. What version of framework are you using? Framework that you set up in your working place. You can say it's 3.NET 3.1. You can even tell them we have updated one now, 5.0. You just something to tell the panel so that they are sure that you know what you're doing. And also, we have test framework. We have NUnit, we have MS Test, we have XUnit, we have SpecFlow plus Runner. When I joined Blue Sky, I started with MS Test, and also along the line, I used NUnit, and along the line, I use SpecFlow plus Runner. So I kind of understand how the three works now. So the good thing is you're starting with SpecFlow, and SpecFlow is very good because it generates report for you. Anytime your test fail, yeah, you can easily know where the test is failing and you can easily resolve it. And also, it automatically has different assertion library for you to help with your assertion as well. Then you click on create. So one thing is that you need to let your Visual Studio load before you start anything, because you just want to be sure that everything is right. So once it says ready here and you have this blue color here and you can see ready, yes, you can carry on. So when it opens your Visual Studio, you can see by default, we have this driver, we have features, we have hook, and we have our steps. These are called folder structure, because in your interview as well, when they ask you how do you set up a framework from scratch, you've installed your Visual Studio, you've integrated your SpecFlow, you create your project. By default, you have this folder structure, and you also add it to it because you're using the 2020, you can say you're using the 2019 with SpecFlow plus Runner, or you can use it the 2022, depending on how you're able to talk to the interviewer about how you set up your framework. This is nothing different from how you should answer the interview question as well. So we have our feature, because we've talked about the feature file. And some of us, when we create a project, we might see that all of this is not docked in the right place. We've talked about that. I won't be doing that. There's a training session whereby we had to dock all of this. So you need to make sure that you dock it in the right place so that you can go to the right place to solve the issue. So now we have our folder structure. Here we are missing page object is missing. We can have that when we create a page object, or if we want to have the folder structure, we can also do that as well. We can have the page object folder structure. You go to project. Anytime you want to do that, don't do it on solution. The reason why you don't do it on solution, you can see this here. With this here, it should tell you what you are meant to do. As a tester, you can see something to say that, oh, here should be where I should add my folder structure. You just need to right click on your project. You go to add, and you go to folder, new folder. What did we want to add? We want to add the page object. You need to start the page with capital and the O with capital as well. This is page objects, and we have our steps. These steps is our step definition. It's either you have it as a folder or you want to generate it from your step definition from your feature file. And once you even if you have this folder and mistakenly you click on create, you click on generate step definition, you can drag it inside this folder, which I'll be showing you, or you can copy to clipboard from your feature file and just paste it inside the one that is already here. So now we have our folder structure, and these are the one we need tonight. The more we go, we will add more. We need utility to add a class. We might be adding more folder structure, more to this, but for tonight, this is okay to go with our training. And for every project you create, you need to have a nugget package to what you're testing, because those are the ones that will support what you're testing. And we have this particular one, Selenium. And the reason why we use Selenium, it helps with our automation. And those are part of our interview question as well. What helps your automation run properly? Selenium is a very open source tool that helps us to do that as well. So for us to have that, we need to install it as part of our Nugget package. How do we do that? If you can see our calculator feature, this is our calculator feature, but we need to add our Nugget package. You go to, you can do it in two ways. You either do it from your solution here, or you do it from your tools. If you do it from tools here, it might be, the difference is that if you do it from here, you install both solution and your project together. And if you do it from here, you need to go to manage Nugget package for solution as well. It will do the same thing. So we will just go here. And we go to browse. The three things we need to install, because we're using Selenium, we just have the three things to install here. We use Selenium, you just type Selenium. So we have the Selenium WebDriver. This one is going to help us when we are calling our driver. You know, when we have the high WebDriver, when we'll be doing that in our page object, in our hook, this will support our WebDriver. And Selenium.support is also going to work for us during our automation as well. We will be installing that. And we have the Selenium WebDriver Chrome driver. This is when we want it to launch our browser. We have already declared that we want to use Chrome browser, and we want Selenium that support that. You need to install this. If you don't install this, it's not going to launch any browser, and it's going to say that when it fails, to say that this is the reason why. Yeah. So you just click on Selenium WebDriver, and yeah, because you've clicked on Manage Nugget and Solution here, you can just check this tool for project and Blue Sky Tutor Training, and just click on Install as well. It's going to bring a pop-up message for you to say that did you want to continue seeing this? It's fine, and you can also click OK. And once it's installed, you need to make sure that you see this green checked to say that, yes, you've installed that particular Nugget package. Also, you need to install this as well, the Selenium.support. And yep, you need to check this and you click on Install. And you click OK. So the third one we are going to install for now, before we get to our session, we just install the Selenium.WebDriver Chrome driver. Before we do this, we need to check our Chrome browser, what version we are using, because your Chrome browser cannot be version 89.9, and you want to install 99.9, but 99.0.48 is not going to work. So you need to update your Chrome browser so that you are able to use it. So now you click on it and you install, and you click OK. So with these three Nugget packages, we can start our automation. Along the line, if we need more, we will install. So that I don't want to rush us. I just want to take it step by step. So you can close it here. If you don't want to continue seeing the screen, just click on the X. Yeah. Now we have installed our Nugget package. Sometimes you just need to clean and build your solution sometimes, so that you know that you're on track, you're doing the right thing. And the reason why you want to build your solution, because in our Test Explorer here, we want to say that we have this feature in our feature file. We want to see it in our Test Explorer so that we can click on it and run our test. So you can do it here. You have to go to Solution. You do it two ways. It's here. If you can't see this particular Solution Explorer and you want to run your test, you can come here and just clean Solution. And also, when it's done, it says clean succeeded. You need to please wait for every message before you continue. You can say clean succeeded, and you go back and do build solution. And when you do this build, the reason why SpecFlow is very good, because if you're not doing things right in this output, it will automatically go to the error list and you will see what exactly happened. But for now, things is looking good. You can see 1 succeeded, 0 failed, which is good. And you can see your test here to say that you're doing the right thing. You can expand your test as you're doing your testing more. You will learn more things here. you can see when I expand, it might be strange to you at the moment, and some of you, it might be difficult to do this. Yeah, it's fine, but you can expand it to say that, oh, I want to see the title, I want to see my test here, my test. So this is the calculated one, and you can also click, if you click on it, it shows that you can see in our slide, I said something about our scenario, and we have the title. Here we have how-to numbers. So we can see the how-to numbers here. The more tests we had here, the more we keep seeing it under our feature file, which is, this is our feature file. This is our calculator.feature. And the more tests we have, it's going to be under, except we decided to create another feature file. Then we have another test underneath it. So this is this one for now. So the next one we are going to do now is that we want to do our hook, because our hook allows us to, that is when we have the before and after scenario, so that we can launch our browser. That is where we can declare, we can also declare our driver there also. And where also the driver we declare that we can use it, we can call it in our page object, we can call it in our step definition. For us to do this hook, we need to right click on the folder here, because we are going to create a class. Every other thing we do apart from feature file is a class. Every other thing we do apart from feature file is a class. So we can go right click on the folder, go to add, go to new. It shows you this screen here, because hooks, if you're doing hooks, you need to select spec flow. We've done this in our class, previous class, because you want to see the hooks binding. The reason is because you want to have that particular, you want spec flow to do that hooks page for us. So we select spec flow when we are doing hooks, and we just go to spec flow hooks binding. When you click on that, you need to give your hook a name. You can delete everything because it's a class, it will automatically by default put the .cs for you. But if you want to put the .cs, it's also fine as well. So we want to call our hook base test. You can call it any name as long as it represents what you're using it for. So I'll be calling it base test. I would like you to pay attention because you might be repeating these steps as well. So I've called it base test, and you need to click on add. Can you see by automatically give the .cs for me, and I have this, my hook page, which is fine. For now, we have the public seal class to say that you only need, yeah, you can't call it, but because we'll be calling lot of things from our hook, I might need to remove the seal. So we can have just public class base test here. And we have some information from SpecFlow to say that, oh, you've had this hook. For additional details on SpecFlow, you can go to this, this URL, which we'll be deleting. I will have to delete it. So you might need to delete it as well. So we have the before scenario, we have the after scenario. Yeah, this have been taught in our previous class. The before scenario is that before your test run, you need to open your browser, and after your tests are completed, you might need to close your browser. So we have something to put there. You need to delete this one. Also, we have this header here. We might be adding more to the header, because we, in our hook, we will be having the using OpenQA.Selenium. That is when we declare our web driver, iWeb we will be having that OpenQA.Selenium. When we declare our the Chrome driver, we have the OpenQA.Selenium.Chrome. So it will automatically tell us to instantiate that, to have the reference. So for this one, we have the public class, base class. We have this, these are curly braces. It's called curly braces because for you to open this particular our public class, we have the public, we have the curly braces. So underneath the curly braces, we need to put our also, we have this binding. This binding is also good because it comes with SpecFlow as well. So we need to put our public. Our public always starts with lowercase. We are adding this iWeb driver because we are declaring that we are going to be using this driver, because we are declaring that we are going to be using this particular driver. That's why we are adding the iWeb driver. So it's we just put public static iWeb driver, and we don't forget to add our semicolon. So once we had our semicolon, you can see before I added my semicolon, you can see it triggers an error. And if you over it, or if you run your test, it might say that you're missing this, the semicolon. So now that we've put the semicolon, we need to, I talk about our header, the using OpenQA.Selenium. It supports the web driver. So when you over it, you can see this yellow thing here. You can click on it.
Abimbola, make your W to be capital letter. That's what it's giving. Yeah.
Thank you. If you hover over it, it will tell you to have the reference. So the first one you suggest to use the using OpenQA.Selenium. You just need to select that. So that is that for that one. And the next one is the before scenario. We have the before scenario, and we have the public void before scenario. And when we open it, we need to put our driver as well. We need to put driver to new. Sometimes it's good to learn how to type it so that you understand it more. It might be new to you now, but later you will get to understand it. From driver. When you do the open and close bracket, when you put your hand on the bracket, you will see that it gives us the open and close. That means you're doing something right with the framework. And if you don't get to see the open and close bracket, sometimes it means that something is wrong with your framework. Yeah. So when you open and close the bracket, you need to put that. I'll be teaching you two methods. The ones that work best for you is the one you will pick. For me, I will put I will declare two things here. So you will choose the one that works best for you. This particular one works best for me. App domain, you can see it. You select the app domain and you click, you put dot, and you should see current domain. Then you put your dot, you should see base directory. You select the base directory, and at the end, you can put your semicolon. So, and we need another header here for our Chrome driver, which is the OpenQA.Selenium.driver. This is because we are going to be using our Chrome driver. So for us to have this particular header, you need, if you over this, you will see, if you click on the drop down, you can see we have the using OpenQA.Selenium.com. So you will do that for that particular one. And another one that can work for you, again, I might need to comment it out. You can also use this as well. Driver. In case, the reason why I'm showing you this, because sometimes when you put the first one, it might not even launch your browser. And if you use the second one, it will work best for you. You just need to choose one that works best for you. Driver equals new. Driver. You put your path. dot get directory. Okay, maybe this have to start with the capital. Yes, because I put a lowercase, that's why it's not giving me the reference for that. You want to use for that one, so you can select it. So these two will work for you. It's either you use this, the second one, or you use the first one, whichever one that can launch your browser for you. So for now, I'm going to comment out the first one. So to comment out the first one, you don't use hash. Like I said, you can use 2/. You just put 2/ and that comment it out for you. So with this one to say that driver, new Chrome driver, the path, we get directory name, it gets the name and the assembly, get executing assembly and the location of the location as well. Then we need to maximize when we run our test. You can add the driver for that here. You can say driver manage. You should be able to see all these options when you're doing that, because if you don't see the option, that means something is wrong. Then you open and close your brackets. You come out of the bracket, you put dot Windows. You should be able to see window dot maximize. You should be able to see maximize. Then you put your open and close bracket and you come out of the bracket and put your semicolon. So this, when we run our test, is going to open our browser and it's going to make it, it's going to maximize it for us. And the after scenario, because this is our open scenario, to say that before you run my test, can you open the browser? Because we are going to do one now before we continue with the rest of the test. We are going to write our feature file next after this hook. So we have our after scenario. Our after scenario is just for us to say that, can you quit the browser when you finish running the test? You just put, you put driver dot. So you should be able to see quit here to select, quit. Then open and close bracket. You come out of the bracket and put semicolon. So this is our hook. There is more to this hook, but because we are just starting, we might have to take things slowly with everyone so that everybody is on the same page. Yeah, by the time we do more and more sessions, we might be adding more here. And the reason why I put just Chrome driver, because we want to use Chrome driver. Let's say, for instance, we want to use Firefox. We have to install the Nugget packages for Firefox, which is the Gecko. If you want to use Microsoft Edge, you have to have the Selenium dot, the one for the Microsoft Edge. Depending on which browser we want to use, some people use Opera, So you need to go to add that particular Node.js packaging. You have to add the Selenium for that particular browser you want to use. So this is fine for our hook. Now, we want to now start our feature file. So we already have, by default, we have this calculator feature here. This is just to show us that this is how our feature file will look like. But we are not using this. We can do two things here. This is the website we will be using for our tests. Let me see. We will be using this website for our tests. longreachtrade.com. The reason why I'm using this because I could, it has lots of steps to automate and to show you, and also I can assert. There is one particular place that we need to assert, and so I need to teach you something there as well. So that's why I'm using this website for our test. So now when you have your acceptance criteria and the B has written it, and you've done your test cases and everything, and you want to do your automation as well, you already know the environment you'll be automating. So this is the URL for that particular environment. Fine. You now go to our feature. Okay, so this is our feature file. We have our tag here, and in the tag here, like I said, you can tag work item. You can say work item 111, just to tag it to say that this particular feature, this scenario you are writing is this work item. So now you can do two things. It's either you delete this calculator.feature, or you can rename it as well, because it's the same thing. I have a calculator feature, it's fine, but I can rename it as well. You can delete or you can rename. So we are going to rename, because the last class we talked about deleting it. So in this session, for us not to come back and say, oh, my feature is not showing this particular green icon here. So please rename, so that nobody comes back to say that, oh, Abimbola, I can't see this particular green thing showing with my feature file. So I will be renaming it, because on that environment, we want to do registration, want to do valid one and invalid. And also, I will also create a feature file for you so that you know how it's done as well. So I will be doing that as well. So for you to rename, you can come here, because as an automation tester, you should be able to use your keyboard and mouse and do anything at any time. So you want to rename your feature file. Let's say you've already added one feature file and it's a wrong name, and you want to rename it. That's how you rename. You right click, go to rename. Don't delete the .feature. Keep it and just put your, let's say the name of our feature file is registration. You just start with capital R, registration. Yeah, then you just the enter. So once you put this, automatically it will change for you. This is the calculator feature. It should change, but fine, we can rename here, because it's calculator here, we can rename it to registration. So you can see in one of our slides, I said we have feature, and we have the feature file we are doing, we are testing on, and also we have our tag, we have scenario, and all of this. So by default, this comes with the feature file you created. You just need to delete it. This is just for SpecFlow trying to tell you more things you need to learn as a tester. So you deleted it. Now we can in this feature, we want to edit this particular given when then. So because we've renamed it, we want to edit it. And what we want to do, this is our website. We want to register. What you do first of all is just to, because you already have your test cases written to say that, yes, you want to go on the website. And when you launch, given a navigate to this particular URL, and when I click on register, you click on register, it will show you this particular registration form, which we are going to write test on. So for some of us that don't know how to write feature file, and you're still learning a little bit more about test cases, and now we want to do the automation part as well, this is exactly what we do as well. We just come on the environment, we see how it goes, because sometimes we write our test cases and while the developer are developing that particular story, once they finish developing it, we just need to update our test cases. So how do we update it? We come to that particular environment they finish working on and see and just go through what we've written as our test text and see if it matches what has been developed. So if it doesn't match, we just need to like add a bit more to our lines, and those tests, we can have it in our automation framework as well. So this is what we'll be writing now. So I'll go back to my Visual Studio. So for the scenario here, we just need to give it a title. That in our last class, we talked about how we create a feature file. So now we are renaming this one so that you know two things now, how to create it and how to rename a particular calculator of feature. So we want to give it valid registration. We want to call it valid registration. So this is our scenario title. And the given there, we need to start from, because it's a precondition, we can say you start with giving a user. You can say giving a user. And also you can see previously it was showing this white background, but because you have everything right with your spec flow, it should show you this purple color. If it doesn't show you, that means you haven't installed the spec flow properly. So you need to put giving a user navigate long break. We will be using parameter here as well, but it might not be the delete parameter. We just use the parameter without example. So for this particular one, we just put longbridge.com, but we'll be adding parameter along as we go with the steps. So I can delete, let's say I delete this. And the next one is when. When is our action. So you say when a user on register button. It can be anything that you see on the page. It can be a menu. So we have this scenario to start. We say, giving a user navigate to longbridge.com. When a user click on register button, the next thing to do, like I showed you, it pop up, it showed to us a register form. And on the register form, the first thing we see there on the form, let me show you. The first thing we see on the form is this first name. So this is how you're going to write your test cases, and this is how you're going to write it in your test script as well. We have the first name, the last name, email address, phone, password, confirm password, address, town or city, and state. So except state, the rest are mandatory. So we want to test valid registration. So the next one is just to write the step for first name, and enter. So to add our parameter, you need to look for this. You can see what we click on your keyboard. We look for these two things to I don't know what it's called. We just start with it to add our parameter. So you put your name. What do we want to call our name? You can say the first name is tester. Then you hand it like that because you parameterize it to say that because you want to pass this value. When you run your test, you want to pass this particular value. And also you go to the next step and And the good thing about being automation tester as well, if you're very good, you can copy and paste this step, because if you know that you will be needed most of the, and I enter and I enter and I enter something, sometimes you just copy it and just tweak it to what you need it for. So I'm going to copy this to save time, and you paste it here. So the next one we want to do is to enter our last name. So I just change this to last name, and you have to be careful. Yeah, the last name is this one is you want to enter your email address. I can just paste that particular text and just change this one. I change the first name to email address. And what is our email address? I want to call my email address tester@yahoo.com. So this is the parameter I want to pass this value, so that it's going to send the keys when it's automating for me. So this is my email address. And the next one is you want to enter the phone number. I'll still share the website again so that we can see that this is what we have on the website. We have the phone number. So what is my phone number? I can put any number. Depending on how, if there's an input, like for instance, if you're testing, if I'm testing a form that is meant to, you're meant to have a UK phone number, I should be able to have a UK phone number here. And if you're testing a form that you have to add another country number, let's say for instance, America, I should be able to enter American number here. These are the tests we do as an automation tester, because we want to test that we are passing the right data when we're doing our manual testing. And it's not just accepting alphabet as phone number, but for our automation now, I'll just put this particular number here and go to the next step. I've entered my phone number, and the next one is, if you go on the form, yeah, after the phone number is password, confirm password. I just go back to password and confirm password. What is my password? I can set any password. I want to say my password is tester. I can call it London 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you be muted, please? So the next one is the confirm password. Because I have the confirm password, I can as well copy this, because it will for me for the confirm password, and just paste it in the next step. So here I just need to have the confirm. I have the confirm password because those are the mandatory fields I need to fill. So it should match for me to have a valid registration. So the next step is the address. What is my address? On the website, it looks like the form is a Nigeria form. If you look on the website, we can see it has address. It might not even be it might be a form for UK as well. You can put a UK address, but the only thing missing here that make me think is a Nigeria form, because it doesn't have a postcode. Because if I am tester and I'm testing this particular one, I will flag this to say that if it's a UK form, I should be able to see postcode, because every UK addresses have a postcode. So if it's a Nigerian form, I don't need the postcode. So I assume it's a Nigeria form, that Nigeria address I have to put here to complete my testing. And it has to say that also in the acceptance criteria as well, so that I know that, yeah, I'm putting the right input for the right country. So I'll just put that here. My address, I can put 99 Ikeja, Lagos. Then the next one is to enter my town and city. And I can just copy this as well to save time. So what is my town? It's either town or city, so I can just put and enter my town, because on the form itself, sorry, on the form it says you either put your town or your city, so you can decide to put town or you can put city. So my town can be good. Okay. And I enter my state will be the next one. I'll just change this one to Surulere. So my state can be Lagos State. And the next one is, okay, now I've filled all the mandatory field. You can see these are the fields on the form. So the next one is, because when you're submitting a form, you should have a submit button to say that you're submitting that particular form. And on the website, we have this button. How do you know it's a button as a tester? You can inspect it. If you inspect it, you should be able to see that it's a button. Can you see? The developer has put there to say that this is button. So that is how I know that it is a button. So as you're learning to be automation tester, that is how you know what the developer has developed, what name is called, or if you're raising a bug for that particular thing, you can inspect it and just put the name the developer used in the developer tool to name that particular bug. So it is a button. So I'm going to write a step for that as well. You can see I started with giving a user and nobody even corrected me. And when a user, I can continue with a user, so that is uniform.
To correct you.
Yeah, Abimbola.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I think for consistency, I would say maybe you've missed out the user,
Okay.
or
Thank
just use an
you. Yeah, yeah,
just
exactly.
change the I, so that there's some level of consistency there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Change the A to I when I.
Okay, you want me to use I instead
Yes,
of user?
yeah, giving a user navigates to long reach way, which is fine.
When I?
So you just use giving user navigates to long reach way. Giving user yeah, navigates to language and yeah.
Yep.
So you can now go to say uh-huh. So yeah, and I click. So you take out the user from there. Yeah. So then at the top, you can make the top giving I navigate to longreachway.com. Let's just keep it consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Give
even
I navigate. Yeah, you take out the S from navigate. Yeah. Yeah,
thank
that's it.
you.
Cheers.
Okay. So this is it. And I click on create account button. Now we finish writing all at but we need the particular one, which is the then.
Yeah.
Need our then here. The then is just to say that what are we when we click on create account, what happens? Because normally you need to check on that environment depending on what the acceptance criteria says. If the acceptance criteria says that you need to see successful message, then you need to assert that particular message as well. But if it says that when the user click on the create account button, it takes them straight to another page, it's fine. You can just say that then I'm logging to that particular environment as well. So for this one, I'll say then a message. And for me to see that message, for you to see that message as well, you as a tester, you can do exploratory testing and just test this form as well. Let's say, for instance, I want to quickly test so that I'll be able to know what to put in my assertion. I can test and say my first name is, I can say Ola, and my last name is Ola, and my email address is ola@yahoo.com. And my phone number is my phone number, and I want to have password. I can say my password is London125. Yeah. And the password here is also London. You can see it says here password match, which is good. And I want to put my straight as 99. The town, I can say the town is Surulere. The state is Lagos. The state is not mandatory. If you want to automate that, is fine. And when I click on create account, this is what I see. And yeah, this is the successful message I want to put as part of my feature file to say that, yeah, when you click on create account, this is a successful message you see. So what you do is just to copy this particular one you want to use. I'll be using this one. So I come back to my framework. So when I'm writing my then, I can say then the message. And you close the two quotes. You put the quotes here. Now remember, you put these two quotes here and you close it with the two quotes. And you say is displayed. The page. Sometimes you can add what page it displayed, but for now we can just say it displayed on the page. So now this is how we write our feature file. This is the one for valid one. So now we need to, you know that we have by default, when we create our project, we have these steps here, and we also have the calculator steps here. So I'll just quickly talk about the calculator steps here. So this is exactly when we generate our step definition. This is what we see. We see the public, we will be using the public class. You will see this particular, we will see this by default being created for us. And we can say private read only scenario contents underscore scenario contents. And also we have our constructor as well, which says the public calculator step definition, and also have this here. We have our given, and we have our given clause here to say that given the first name is blah, and we also have to put this is what we will be doing tonight. I'll be talking more on that as well. So that is our step definition. So for now, if I want to delete, because I renamed this, I can as well delete this so that we can see how it works for both. So I will just right click on the calculator steps feature and I delete it. And it pop up a message to say, did I want to delete it? And I say yes, because I'm sure I want to delete it. Now I want to generate my step definition. That is the next thing you do when you create a feature file. You right click on anywhere. As long as it shows the purple, you right click anywhere and you go to generate step definition. You don't go to you only go to step definition if you already have a class, a step definition class, and you want to copy to that particular class. You can go to step definition, then you pop up a message for you. You either go to definition at the top here or go to definition, then you pop up a message to say that, did you want to save this particular one? And you can copy that and paste it in that your step definition class. But for now, we want to generate our step definition. It's very important. When we click on generate, it gives us this pop-up. So now it's going to tick everything for you because that is exactly what we wanted. Let's say, for instance, we don't want it to generate for then, you can uncheck it. But for now, we want it to generate for the then as well. And we have the class name. You already by default is going to set you a class name to say that you want registration steps. Yeah, I want registration steps. And you want also you can click on generate as well because you want it to be a registration step under your step folder as well. So you click on generate. Here you have to be careful where you want to save it to. You need to make sure that it's on step. Can you see? When I click on this feature, it automatically selects the registration steps for me to say that it's going to be on. I need to change this to step. It needs to be. So these are the things you find when you're doing your generating your steps, but how to fix it is not that hard. We will fix it. Let's say, for instance, I now created it and it goes under my feature. I will tell you how to resolve it. Should in case somebody else find themselves in my situation and could locate that particular steps in their folder, file explorer as well. So let's say I click on saves. So now you can see because I click on save, it automatically come under my feature. So what you need to do here is just to drag. Don't panic, don't delete, drag it to your step folder and just click OK. Can you see? It comes to your step folder and it corrects itself. So if you do something like that and you think, oh, you've done the wrong thing, instead of you deleting it, you can drag it and just put it under your folder. So we have our steps here. You can see. So this is our step definition, and also it has this binding to say that it is going to make our feature file bind. So once we generate our steps, the first thing you do is just to save it. And because it's spec flow, for it to bind, if you go to my feature now, or it automatically bind. Sometimes it might not bind. What you need to do, because sometimes you generate your step and it doesn't bind, just build, because that is the thing that spec flow has done. He asks you to just build. Once you just generate your step, what you need to do next is just to build. And once you build, he will bind your steps for you. And also, you can also use another method. If you don't know, if you can't remember that, you can just try to put something, put anything here, press enter. Because you've tried to enter, maybe you want to put any letter here and you press enter and you just click on save. So it will automatically bind your feature file. So we now have our feature file binded. That means things is looking good, and you can see our parameter value is also showing different color to say that, yeah, we are actually right. So the next thing you do after your step definition is this page object, because you don't end it in the step definition. The next place you go is your page object, and page object is very good because it cleans your code, and you that's where you have all your elements, just like Rukia have said. When you inspect your elements and you find you decided to use one particular locator, you put that element in your page object. So I'll go to, so for us to have a page object, you need to right click on your folder. When you right click on your folder, you go to add. And the reason why I right click here is because I already have a folder. So I have to right click so that I can create a class for that page object. So go to add, new item. Now is a page object. I don't need to have spec flow. I don't need to have spec flow hooks. I just need to go back to my Visual C# item. So once I go back to my Visual C# item, it takes me back to this screen, and you can click on class. So when you click on class, and you can put your page object name, and my feature name is registration, so I can call it registration page. You start with capital. So it's name registration page. By default, it's going to have the .cs for me. So I just click, yeah. So this is now my page object. This is my page object for registration. So here, we will now have to declare our driver. Here we will be calling our driver. Also, we also need some of our header, which is the openqa.selenium. We need openqa.selenium. The one for our hooks. We also be calling our hooks inside our page object as well. So we start by putting public web iWeb driver space small letter driver, and we put our semicolon because we want to we are using this iWeb driver, and we want to have the using system, which is using openqa.selenium. Yeah. So if you over it, you see this, and you click on it, and you can see it has the using openqa.selenium that supports our web driver. So you have to do that for this particular one. So you press enter button, and we also need our constructor inside this. For our page objects, for our step definition, we have public class for our step definition, but for the page object, we are fine with class and registration. So we put our constructor here. We say public registration. Open and close brackets. We come out of the brackets, and we put our curly braces. We press enter. So inside, we want to also put our driver equals our hook. Our hook is the base test, so we want to also say base test dot driver. We put our semicolon. So now we need to call our hook here because it's missing the using for hook, which is the open keyway. So we just click on the drop down here. We can see our hook. You can see it's using Blue Sky Tutor Training.hook because we need it as well here. So that because here we will be putting all our elements here as well. So the next one is we need to declare the object for what we want to do now, because the first one is we declare our driver here. When we declare our driver, we call it public highway driver. And also, we also want to assign our driver which is the base test hook. So this is it here, the driver equals the base test dot driver. And the next thing to do now is to declare the object for what we want to do. And the first thing we want to do here is, let's say, for instance, one more thing to do before we start declaring our objects here. As a tester, we want to see if our Chrome driver is going to launch for us. So now we have our feature steps, we have our feature scenario, and we want to make sure that this particular, our hook, the driver we put, the Chrome driver we put there is going to launch our browser. We will quickly, because we have one step here, we have the given and navigate to long reach way. Well, so we can use that to test that before we continue before we continue our page object. So we can do that. We come to our step definition. So given our navigate here, so what we need to do, we need to declare our driver here as well. Say public web driver base test our hook dot driver, and you put the semicolon. The reason why I'm typing it is so that we understand how it's done. You can see for the page object and the step definition, I want to call my driver here because I want to have that using reference here at the top. So when you put public highway driver equals to base test, so we automatically know that this is the using OpenQA or Selenium that supports our web driver, and this also supports our hook as well. So if you click, you can see the hook. You can select that particular one as well. Also, we already have a page object. We need to declare our page object here. The page object, we need to, our page object, so we need to say registration. We will be calling our page object inside our step definition. So what we call it is, we say instantiate our page objects. Say registration. Space. Then the next one should be starting with a lowercase, because we don't want to have the similar uppercase for the beginning of registration. We need to separate it by putting a lowercase, and we can also put underscore as well. So if you can see it's also suggesting this for us. You can either select it and add underscore at the beginning. It's fine if you know what you do. So if I select it, then I should make sure that I put underscore, because that is how I wanted it. So you will do this and you will say is equal new registration. So now we have not completed new registration. Yep. We have not completed this because we need to instantiate our page object. So how do we do that? We select this. So when we select this, we need to see that the using is here. The using Blue Sky Tutor Training Project, to select the first one. And for us to end this particular one, we need to put think I'm missing open and close bracket here and semicolon to end it. Yeah. Registration. Okay. Registration page has to be registration page. Yeah. So sometimes as a tester, when you're writing your code, you might see that something doesn't go well. It is how you're able to resolve it that matters. Yeah. So I can see that some things are not going well for me. And I try to like, okay, what am I missing? Can it be the open and close? Can it be the semicolon? So now I've been able to resolve it, which is fine. Now I can now test my first step, which is the giving and navigate. So here we have the scenario content dot current dot pending. So to start, you can delete everything so you see how it is done. Now everything is deleted. So we want to call our page objects here. So when you want to call our page object, it has to be this one that starts with the lowercase. So you start with underscore. So once you start with underscore, you should be able to see here suggested for you. So if it's suggested for you, that means you're doing something right. You just click on it and you put a dot. And because we want it to open to go to our browser, no, I think this one, sorry, apologies. We start with driver dot navigate because we want it to navigate to that particular environment. We say navigate. We say open and close brackets. And we say go to, go to, it should be here, go to URL. Then you open and close your brackets and you can put @ symbol. And I put my 2 quotes. So once I put my 2 quotes, what is my URL? I go on the, you can see it's even saying to me here to string my URL. So which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put my URL here. I go on the website. For everybody that is going to replicate this, please go on this website, Longreach. Okay, yeah, the first one. Yeah. So what you do is just to copy your website here and just put it in your code. And paste it here. And don't forget to end it with your semicolon. Semicolon. So when you end it with semicolon, try and save all your work. Every time you're writing steps or you're adding 1 or 2 lines, please always remember to save because sometimes it might be freeze, it might be internet issue, and you've written so many steps, you've written your code, you've put so many codes, the element is there and everything freezes and shuts down. You might lose most of the steps you've written. So it's good to always save. So once you save, you're fine. So now we want to make sure that our Chrome driver is working as expected. So what we do is you just clean and build solution, clean solution. When you clean solution, make sure nothing is in your test explorer here, and it should show you clean once succeeded, and you can build it as well. And when you're building it, you can see this is building. And sometimes when you build it, if there's an error or something is not right, you see it in your output or your error list here. So now you can see back to my test explorer. I can expand it. You can see this is it. You can also expand it if you're like looking for what title is this. So this is if you double click on it, it should take you to your feature file. One more thing here that I missed here is that I missed my descriptive text, which I did say that we need to add as well. When you have your feature file, you need to like put a descriptive message there to say that if anybody wants to see your feature and they can understand. So I need to add that descriptive message as well. So I need to put as a, what did I want to do? As a user of longreach.com, I want to register to register on the website so that language. So this is the descriptive description of my of what I'm trying to do in my feature file here. So this is going to cover it because if you're at work as well, there might be user story that the B has written and you're testing different scenario. It might apply that for this particular one. It might have the same feature. You might be 2 or 3 testers sharing the same folder, the same feature file, but you have different tests in the feature file. But so each tester have to have particular user story for their work item. Let's say, for instance, I have another tester sharing the same registration um, um, feature with me, but different work item. That particular work item should have like a description of what the person is trying to test. So this is my own work item at the moment. So this is my description message that has to do with this particular one as well. Also for SpecFlow, you can add rule as well. You might see something like rule and you need to put the truth dot in front. The rule to say that what rule covers what you're testing because because you are using SpecFlow, we have so many attributes that come with it. We want to say rule, and rule is to say every user should be able, or I can say every external user should be able to register on the website. So this is another feature as well. You might be seeing this for the first time, but this actually how you'll be doing it when you get a job and you just want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, you want to make your feature file neat. So you'll be adding rule because it's part of SpecFlow to add rule as well. We have the tag, we have the rule, we have the feature, we have the description. So everything comes in our feature file. So this is it. Now we've cleaned our build our solution. We want to run that particular test. We come here and to run it, we go to our test explorer and we right click. Once you right click, you see the run, you see debug. We use this to know what exactly is failing our test. We debug into the code, but for now we are going to run our test. When I click on run, you need to pay attention to this as well. Can you see? Is okay. Let me bring it forward. Okay, I might do that again so that you can see because it's kind of too fast. Okay. Can you see? It's building. Can you see it? So that is what I'm expecting to see. And it's showing this to say that because I've not completed my steps, I've not put my element, I've also not called my page object in my step definition. It's fine to see this. But what I wanted to see is that it launches my browser, which is fine. Then I can carry on. So now we go back to our page object because once you finish your feature file, you generate your step definition, you launch your browser, and you need to start calling your object. Yeah. So what I do is that you need to import this. So we will be using our private var here, we will be using, I want to declare the object. So what I want to do now is just to declare the object. This is when I start using my private by. So we will be using private by. You can see also suggested for me to say that I'm actually doing the right thing. You say private by. So what did I want to do? I want to go on the website because the feature says that, and I click on register button. So now private by, because I showed it to you in the slide, is just a private by register, any name, so register, you say equals to what? Like Roque has said in our locator, we want to say that is it by expert, by CSS, by ID, by input. We also have href. You have so many things to use to call our element. So for you to be able to know what to put here, you need to go on the environment itself, the website. And here, this is how Roque have explained how what locator means, but you seeing it here, because some of you are in prep major, blue sky, CAMS, and you want to automate. So the first one is to say, when I click on register, you want to know what locator I can use for register. You can right click and you inspect. So can you see? So if you come here, you can see it's showing you that it's actually picking that register button. But some websites are very easy to just locate the element, because by the time you over it here in your developer tool, you can see ID, you can see the input, everything is clear. But for this one, we can see, oh, it's spam class and this, for you to be actually for you to now inspect this element here. Sometimes you need to download selector up. You can use selector up, or you can use CSS helper for starting, which is kind of good. I have this selector CSS helper here. I have selector hub to help with my locator, and also CSS selector. If you click on CSS selector, you need to download the Chrome extension. You need to download it on Chrome. It's an extension on Chrome. So what you need to do is just to select it here. Can you see? And the only thing, the only reason you select it here is just to help you to locate your element, because sometimes it might be that this is not the actual element, because when you put it in your code, it might not be clicking on register button. So now, and you can also do this as well. You can click on this, and when I think I've actually clicked, okay, that's fine. You can inspect it. Oh, so this is it here. And I come to my CSS helper here because I want to see which one, because it's suggesting to me different locator to use, different element to use. If I click on this, is showing to me is appearing 4 times on the page. If I click on this, it's showing 1 of 1, but I don't want to use it. It might be too long. How do I see what click on? You just come here and you click on copy. And here you need to press Control F. Control F to see whatever you've copied, whether it's 1 of 1 or 2 of 1, 1 of 2. So can you see? It actually gives to me is a CSS locator for me. It says dot top nav dash item, and it also says 1 of 1. So let's say, for instance, I don't want to go with this. You can also use expert as well. So inspect on the element again. And how do I use expert? You can download expert helper as well, and you have the Chrome extension. So you just right click and you go to copy, and you go to expert, copy expert. So here, because I already have this, the place to check it, so just paste it here. Can you see? When I paste it, it's saying 1 of 1. That means it's actually this element I need. And also, you can also reduce this div, because it has come, it's coming with so many div. for today's class, I'm not going to do anything so that some people don't have issue like asking me, how did I customize it? They are having issue. I just want everybody to be able to like replicate what I've done. So for experts here, if you want to use it in your code, we have two codes here. We have this double code and we have another double code. We don't, in your framework, it won't accept so many double codes because you need to put it inside two double code. So it will actually take one from you. If you cannot see it properly, get a notepad, copy it in your notepad after you've checked it here. But because I know what I'm doing, I can as well change it here. But if you don't know what I've done, please put it in your notepad and edit it. If you edit it, can you see that we have one quote here instead of double quote? So now I'm just going to copy everything. Like I said, I won't customize this today so that everybody will know. Some of us will not be having issue like, oh, what have I done? So when you copy it, you now come to your page object. So now in my page object, what have I done? I've done expert. So what I just need to do is just to say buy. So it should show to me the list of locator. Can you see? If it doesn't show list of locator, you are not doing anything right. You need to check properly what you have done wrong. But if it shows to me the list of locator, because you know we have our nugget packages, we have everything so that it works well for us. So I've used expert. You just select expert. And you open and close your bracket. So when you open and close your bracket, always put your two quotes. Go on your computer, put two quotes. When you put two quotes, because it's a page, it is a page object you're putting. Inside the page object, you're putting your two quotes, just as I explained in our slide. So inside these two quotes, just paste your code. And don't forget to end it with semicolon. It's very, very important. So now we have declared the object. Now we need to also write our method. Every time you declare the object, you need to write a method. Every time you declare the object, please write a method. Now it's showing this gray for now. When we write our method, you will see that this will actually change color. So to write our method, public our public should always start with a small letter, public, void. Maybe in another class we will talk more about public void, constructor, so many things. But for tonight, yeah, we can just go with what I'm doing. And what did I want to put next is, because I wanted to click register, so I can say click register. We can start with capital letter, and also the register can also start with capital letter as well. So you just put your you put your open and close bracket and press enter and put your curly braces. Press enter to open the curly braces. We need our driver. We need our driver. So we put driver dot. Once you put this driver, it should bring this drop down for you. What did you want to do? I want to find element, because this is the object I've declared here. I'm actually finding elements. So you just click find elements. Now you open and close another bracket. Inside the bracket, you put register. What you've put here, you put inside the bracket, register. Then you come out of the bracket. What do you need to do next? We want to click, because like I said, we want to click on that particular register button. You just put dot, it should suggest. If you're not seeing all this, please try and fix it, because it means that you're not doing something right. It should be able to suggest to you, because that is the reason why we are using so many things on our framework. So we want to click, and you should be able to see click as well. We open and close our bracket, and we come out of the bracket and end it with semicolon. Yeah. Error find element. Okay. Yeah. So you can see previously it was throwing an error for me. And the good thing about being automation tester is that no matter how you're doing your code, if something is wrong, try to look at it. Don't like, oh, I've done something wrong. How do I fix this? You can see if you over it is saying something to me here. It might be difficult for you to interpret now, but by the time you go along, you understand it more. So I now look at it properly and say that what have I done wrong? I've actually added X to this element, because sometimes if you're running your test and it shows you that you have one error and you're looking at, oh, you've actually done the right thing. It might be that you've mistakenly pressed a comma or a symbol, or you've added a letter. Please try to check it thoroughly. And also in your interview as well, how were you able to help your QA? You can use this scenario to say that you have a particular tester that joined your company and trying to automate a particular story, and it just due to the end of the sprint, and she has been finding it difficult to make that test to pass, and she actually reached out to you. You look through her code, and what you could see that when she was writing her page object, she mistakenly added the S in the find element, because those are the scenarios you just need to tell the panel to say that you actually know what you're doing as a tester, and how were you able to resolve it. You just remove the S. So by the time you remove the S, nothing triggers, and she run her test and everything passes. You solved that particular question in the interview because you were able to help a QA that is having challenges, seeing so many errors, not knowing that she mistakenly pressed one letter. So this is fine. I can say driver find element register.click. So once you're done with this, you go to your step definition. You have everything in your tab here, which is good. Just go to your step definition and call it. How do I call it? You can add so that you know how to do it as a tester. We are going to call our page object, which is the underscore. It should show to me registration dot. And it should show to me what I'm actually doing, which is click register and close. And you had your semicolon. Okay, so this is it. I've done the click, and if you want to run your test to see if it actually click, you can run it as well. As you go along, you can decide to run this particular step so that you see that it actually click. What you can do is you can say reviewed solution, because sometimes if you do this, sometimes you don't have to finish all your tests before you run it. As you're going along, you want to run it so that you can quickly fix that issue. So I want to run it now. I come here, I can expand this more as well so I can see my valid registration. What you need to do here is just to right click and run. Okay. Can you see if I expand it, you see that it actually clicks. So this is what I'm expecting to see. Given I navigate to long range, done. Good. When I, oh, this is a mistake, I'll correct it now. When I click on register button, done. So these two I'm expecting to see as done. That means everything is working fine for me. So how do I fix this as a tester? I don't need to delete anything. I don't need to delete my feature file. I don't need to delete my step definition. I just need to remove it, the user. Okay, so I go back to my feature file. I go to the feature file and remove that. Now this is your feature. So you need to go to your step definition for it to bind. Look for that particular test in your step definition. You can see it here when I user. What you just need to do is just to correct it, remove the user. And also here, you need to remove the user as well. Save. And if you go back to your feature, you can see everything works well. So you don't need to delete, because I know as we are starting, some of us might be having challenges, like even because of that particular one, you can decide to delete the old feature file. No, you don't need to do that. You just need to correct it and go to your step and correct it as well, and everything works fine. So the next one is the next line. We need to declare our objects again. And please, we need to tidy up our code. That is why we are using page objects. We want to make sure our code is neat. I don't want to be working with you as a tester and your page object is looking messy. I wouldn't like it. So because we want to put all our elements in one particular place and all our method in one particular place. So now the next object is, you need to write private. You start with private. Always try to learn how to write it so that you understand how it's done. You can copy it, that's fine. But if you always type it, it's always good, because that is how I learned as well. So what did I want to do next is the first name, which is in my feature. You can go to your feature file and enter first name. So here I can call it first name. Now, I need to go back to my website. You click on register, you can see the form. You need, like Rika have said, another locator is we want to inspect this field because we want it, we have a parameter in our feature file and we want it to send that value in here when it automates it, so that we can be sure that the test passes. Because when we are doing our manual testing, when I was doing the manual testing, I actually put my name by this, but now we are doing the automation. We want it to send the keys inside the name field. So you just put your cursor inside, not on top of the name, inside the field, because that is where you want to send the keys to, and you just click inspect. So here we have input, type text, class input text, and the good thing here, we have ID. So if you're very good with automation and locator, once you see ID, ID is very straightforward to, what you just need to do, you just click on this, you copy it, you press Ctrl F to see, so that we can know how many first name is on this page. So for ID, you need to put hash when you want to start and want to put element as element for ID. You need to start with hash and you paste whatever you have. So this is it, and you can see here he's saying 1 of 2. Okay, I don't want 1 of 2. I want 1 of 1, because it appears to me that we have first name 2 times on this page. Now I have my selector helper to help me. So you just need to refresh. And here you can just go back again and just insert. You need to scroll up. So now I click on this first name here. I want it is 1 of 1. I check it is 1 of 1. I want to check it again. Is it 1 of 1? Now it's saying 1 of 2. Then sometimes it doesn't mean that if it's 1 of 2 or it's not going to work, as long as there is no second one on this page. Like if you scroll to 2 of 2, is actually not highlighting anything on this page. It might be that it's not, the first name is actually not on the name. You can see this is from the developer part to say that this is how he has put this in his code. So we can actually still use this first name, because the 1 of 1, you can see 1 of 2 is actually highlighting that particular first name for us. But 2 of 2 is not doing that, so we can still use this, but don't forget to put hash because you're calling that ID element, you copy it. You now go to your page object. So this is my page object. You just replicate what you've done at the top here. If you're confused, just say, okay, at the top, I'm gonna put by. Then what have I done? I've done CSS. So it's going to be by by ID. You can say by ID, or you can also say by CSS. And you open and close your bracket. You put your 2 codes and you paste it. And don't forget to end it with semicolon. So now I've done my object. I need to declare my method. That's again by public. This time, because we want to put our first name, you need to enter. Because when you want to put your first name, what do? You enter. You just say enter, first name. You open and close. Inside this bracket, we are going to have a string, and which I will show you. We just put string name. Curly braces, you open with curly braces, and you put driver dot find element. Then you open and close your bracket, and you can see suggesting to me first name. Yep. Now, because it's enter, I need to send keys. You need to put dot send keys. You see, send keys. What am I sending? Name. Because I want to string the name, which is in my feature file. You can say this name, tester. I want it to come on the website as so I have to string it. So you just put name. And please, when you do that, always end it with semicolon and make sure that it's showing this color, string name, and nothing is showing red. So once you finish this, go straight to your step definition. If you're very good at what you do, you can finish this first and just go and complete it with your step definition. But for the benefit of those people that are still looking like, oh, what am I doing? Is it magic? So just do it step by step. But before you do it like 2 or 3 times, you are now pro. So you just come to your step definition here. And if you notice in your step definition, it says string PU because we had a parameter. We had parameter without example. So it's going to string PU. Even though you even add example as well, you can still say you should string whatever you want to string here as well. So string PO will now be the name we string in our page object. So when you say string PO, don't panic. Just come here to say, what did we string here? String name. That is exactly what you come here to do. So here, you do the same thing as we have done here. We just look for our page object. Dot enter first name. What did we want to put inside? We want to string our name, just like we have done. And you also correct the PO, you change the PO to name. And don't forget to add your semicolon. Yeah. So we are done with that one. I will run this one. Then after this one, we complete the next step. Then I can run everything. So now I've done like 2 steps, which is good. I can come here and review. It's fine. You can clean and build solution. It's also fine. And the reason why I reviewed is to say that if something is missing or I've mistakenly pressed something, it's going to tell me. I like error for me. So you just right click, run. Yeah. So for me to confirm what I've done, you can see if I expand this, I want to see done. So, and I enter first name tester, done. And within 1 second, it's done. So this is what I actually want to achieve. So this is fine. So I'll quickly complete the next step. So what you do here, you just go back to your page objects and put another object reference, which is private. Okay, last name. I go on the environment, quickly inspect the field. I also have this ID last name here, which is fine. I can clear my CSS paper. You can also do it this way. Right click here and just come here, copy selector. Once you copy selector, you just paste it here to confirm your selector. Is it 1 of 1? So you just paste it. So you can see it's also saying 1 of 2, but the 2 is not actually on the page because that's how it says for the first name. But because it's not on the page, it's just showing 1 of 2. So it's fine to use this particular one. So I just copy it. I go back to my Visual Studio, go to page object on my Visual Studio. I put by dot because it's a CSS ID. Okay, and open and close brackets. I put my semicolon, no, my 2 quotations, sorry, and I paste my code and I put my semicolon. And here I need to write my method as well. Because it's similar, if it's me, I will have copied and just retweak it to match what I've done. But for the sake of people that are just looking at, maybe I'm doing magic, I might have to write it. Public void. Last name. You open and close. And you can decide to string it later. Put your your curly braces, press enter, and just put driver. But you see your find elements. You open and close this, and you put last name. You come outside the bracket, you put dot send keys. If you can't find it easily, just put S, it should show to you. Then you open and close your bracket. What did I want to string? I want to string the last name. Or I can string name. You can call it name. Inside here, you had your semicolon. And here you can string name. You can also copy from here as well because it's the same. So this is it. I've stringed it. Previously, it was showing underline under the string, and I don't think it's fine, so I had to correct it. Probably when I was doing the copy and paste, I must have clicked on something. So I've corrected that. You come straight to your step definition and do the same. Just like you've done here. The shortcut is you can copy from here and paste it here, and also try to correct this. How you do it, you just put the dot. When you put the dot, you should be able to see the enter last name. And you have to string this name as well because it says string name. Just copy the string name. Yeah, everything is fine. Paste it here, string name. Yeah, so everything is looking good. So we do the next one quickly. The next one is the we have another one, which is the email address. Okay, it's fine. So what I would just do is just to copy this and paste it at the bottom. And what I do is just to remove the element here and also this and also change it to email address. You call it email or you can call it email address, it's fine. So now I go to my website and I do the same here. Yep. So here we have ID. The ID is email addressing, email address reg. It's fine. You can do it the easier way by going here and just copy the selector. It's very easy because you already have ID on the page. So can you see? It's showing one of two. By the time you select the two of two, it's actually on the page. So we can still use this as well. So we just copy the code. Copy, go to your page object. Here we just put dot, triple dot. It should show us that yeah, project we want to select CSS, and inside our two codes, we paste our code. And yeah, our semicolon is there. And also we need our method as well to, so we can also do the same here. Please don't make mistake. Copy and paste it. Because if you're at work, you don't want to keep typing and typing a long steps. You just want to copy and paste and try to correct everything. Correct the lines. So now, because it's email that I've put at the top, you can say enter email. You can say enter email address is fine. You string email. You have to start with a lowercase for string. Then driver, find element. What should be here? Should be email. The one at the top, email. Then what did I want to string? Email. This is fine. Then I go to my step definition. I can do the same here, or I can as well start. Delete this and just put underscore. You should see this. By the time you put dot, you should see enter email address. Put your put your open and close bracket and put what you want to string inside email, starting with lowercase. You put your semicolon and also the string here, you put email. It's fine. So now you can see here it's showing us decimal PO, but I will let you know what we can do. The reason why it's showing decimal PO is because we have phone number starting with 079 blah blah blah, and you want to string our phone number. So instead of putting string name, we just put this. I'll tell you. So we go back to our page object, declare. You can copy this, paste it, and delete. You can delete. Okay. So what do we want to do? Email address. I think the next one is phone number. Yeah. You want to put phone number? I can put phone. I can put number. You can represent it with anything. So I will represent it with number. Then by dot. So which locator am I using? Okay. We also have ID, which is good. Just right click, copy selector. And also you need to put it here just to know. Sometimes it might be 1 of 4, it might be 1 of 100, it might be 1 of 200, but what you want to see is it actually on the page? Even though it's 1 of 2, is it actually on the page? Is 2 of 2 on this page or not? Yeah, I can see that 1 of 2 is not on the page, 2 of 2 is actually on the page, so I'm fine with the code. I go back to my page object. Visual Studio, yeah. CSS, close bracket. I put my 2 quotation, then I paste it. And don't forget to put your semicolon. Then your method, always remember your method. Very, very important. Public void. What did we do? Enter phone number. You can call it any name. Enter. And say enter telephone. It depends on whatever you want to call it. Enter phone number. And you open your brackets. Put your curly braces. So here we can string the number inside our page object, which is fine. You just put string number. It has to start with lowercase. And here we can just say caller driver dot find element, open and close brackets. At the top we put number. Yeah. Number. Yeah. Number dot send please. Open and close brackets. And what I want to string number because I use parameter, so you automatically see that it's a number that is there. So this is it. So once we are done with page object, we just move to step definition. So in our step definition here, we can see it says decimal PO. So what we need to do here is that we need to remove this PO. And because we don't want to, we want to enter a number. So what you do is just to say decimal number. And here, all our page objects dot enter phone number, open and close, and it puts number. And don't forget to put your semicolon. Now it's showing to us here, so we need to click on this. Okay, hold on. We need to add the number in our feature file. This the exact number because we say it's decimal number. So go back to your step definition and add the number. It should be fine. Yep. So you can click on this drop down. Okay, this is number. We need to put 2 quotes. Put it inside the 2 quotes so that it matches. Yeah. So now, because it throws so many errors, you have to, as a tester, you also need to look at it, what is actually failing, what is actually giving you error, and be able to resolve it. That is what makes a good tester. So now you've done that part, and you go back to your page object again. And the reason why I decided to use this is because so that it's clear, we understand how it's done from the beginning to the end. So now we just need to do our password. enter password, enter confirm password. So our password is this. We can copy this, paste it, and just say, here is password. So now let's go back to the website. Yeah, and just do the password. Right click and inspect. Now we also have ID here, which is good. You can do it 2 ways. If it's me, I just copy whatever is here. Then I Control F. Then I add my hash because it's an ID. And I just put hash and I paste. Now it gives me what I wanted. Then I look for it. Is it 2 of 2 is on this page? 1 of 2 is not on this page. And I can see that it's actually not on the page. I can only see it in the developer query that is showing to me here, which is fine. So I just copy it. And yep, I go back to my Visual Studio. Yeah. And I can see that in CSS, so I don't need to delete that. I just paste my code here. Then I need to put my method. You can copy this as well. And just trick it to say enter password. For you to copy and paste, you must know what you're doing. That your framework is not looking messy with errors. So enter password. Yep, driver.password. Then I want to string password. You can string it with any name you call it. You can say PWD, it's fine, as long as it matches what you have here. So it's fine. I'm string. I just string password. So the next thing is just go to your step definition. Yeah.
Yeah, this password you put there,
Okay.
are they 2 words? Because you put the password P, that P is capital, then that W is capital letter.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's my method.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I now go to my step definition just to do it. Call it here. I believe everybody's understand what I'm doing. So you just call it your page object here. Once you click dot here, you should see enter password here. Then you just open and close your brackets. And yeah, what did I string? I string PWD. And you just need to represent it here. Take the PO away, PWD. And make sure you always end this with semicolon. Yeah, that is fine. So we just go back to our page object again. You can see the reason why we use page object because it's very neat. You can reuse your code. I can create another feature file and decided to reuse my code here. It's fine. Yeah, that's why page object is good. So now I can copy this as well and paste it here. And because I want to rename this, I can say confirm password. Confirm password. Yeah. And yeah, what is my confirm password? I go back to the page, I inspect it. And you can also do this. You click on this and you come here. Can you see? When you come here, you automatically highlight it for you. But for the sake of everybody learning for the first time, I know some people already know. You can just come here and say, oh, how is she doing it? Just come here and click inspect and it does the work for you. Once you see ID here, just be fine. Just right click and just copy CSS and try to check it. Is it 1 of 1? Yes, it's 1 of 2, but the 2 of 2, 1 of 2 is not on the page. You can see here the 1 of 2 is actually here. So you can say it's not even on the page. So, but if you move it up, you can see 2 of 2 is actually locating that particular field here. So you can just copy it, go back to your page object. Yeah, just put it here. You don't need to do anything to the CSS. You already know that you have ID that is making everything good for you. So what you need to do is just to put your method, write your method, you write it. So now, you just copy this. And also try to tweak your word because you already have password here. This is confirm, just put confirm, start with capital letter C, confirm password. And you're not going to string the same word as this. You want to string confirm password. You can just say confirm. Let your password start with capital letter. Because you start with the lowercase, then you continue with capital letter, starting the text. So you already have here, what did I name it? I say confirm. You can come here and copy, or you should be able to see it in the drop down. If I delete this, I should see it. Say C. Once you put C, you can see it's already here. Because if it's giving you all this suggestion, it means that you're actually doing something right. Yeah, so you can just put confirm. So if you put another C here and you can see what you string here, that means you're actually doing something good. So after you've done your page object, please always go to your step definition. That's why automation is so good. When you're doing it, you kind of enjoyed it. For others, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, then you put your dots, and yeah, what am I looking for? Confirm password, which is actually suggesting it to me. Then you open and close your bracket. What did I want to put there? I want to string. You see, it's already suggesting to me here that I want to string confirm password. So I can say confirm password. Yeah, and I put my semicolon. Yeah, and I come here and I do the same. Remove the PO, just confirm. No, string confirm password. Confirm password. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it wasn't looking good, but I was able to resolve it. That's that for that. So we quickly go to the next one. And how do I know the next one is by coming to my feature file. I've done the phone number, I've done the password, I've done the confirm password. I have I have 4 more left to go before my assertion, which is good. Then I say I enter my address. You come to the page object, you go up, and you can copy this as well, as long as
Hello,
you.
Abimbola.
Yep.
I think the last one was PWD or not PWS.
Okay, PWD. Oh, thank you. Yeah. 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 Thank you. Okay. I paste it. Address. I can put address. I go on the page. Am I going to say ID again for address? Yeah, you can do this. Right click, inspect. That's how you locate your elements. And I can see ID. So what I can do is just to copy this. And here, how do I get this? I press Ctrl F to be able to check whether it's 1 of 1 or 2 of 2. So I put my hash and I paste. So, okay, I've actually copied the wrong thing. To do that again, inspect. Okay, you see, ID should just be address, save, and I type hash and I paste. Yeah. So it's saying one of two for showing here, but I definitely know that 2 of 2 is going to work for me. So I just copy everything, copy, go to your page object. Now I need to paste it there. So because it's a CSS, I don't need to alter anything here. And I know that the next thing is my method. Be careful with this curly braces because some of us we might make a mistake by doing this. And that is going to bring an error. And so you have to come to the end of this curly braces here. Our method, we have our curly braces. Just put your cursor here and press enter. Sometimes you can give it more space and just use your up and down arrow on your keyboard. Now, you want to enter your method, you don't want to write, you can copy here and paste it here. And now you want to change it to enter address. And here, I want to change it to how I've written it at the top. It's going to be address. Yes, also suggesting it to me. Yeah, because it's a send key, it's going to send all the address that I put in my parameter. You can see this parameter is going to enter 99 Ikeja, Lagos. So now I need to send the keys and I need to put this, I need to string it. So what do I want to call it? Address. But it's to start with small letter. Address, and you can copy it and paste it here, string address. Yeah. So this is good. You can now go to your step definition and call the page object. Delete this. For your page object, you should be able to see this and dots. And it's just exactly what you've been doing. You should be able to see your address here, enter address, open and close brackets. And it's also giving you a suggestion that, yeah, you want to string address. Can you do that now? Yes, I want to do that. Then you put address here and you put semicolon. And the string PO, you remove the PO and put address. It makes everything is looking neat, like it's gonna pass. For now, we just carry on until when we run it, that's when we know whether it actually passes. So the next one is just to, you go back to your feature file, is to enter town. And the reason why I choose this long one, I don't want to pick like 4 lines to make it easier, like, oh, there's not much work to automation. You might have up to 16 lines of scenario. If you're doing end-to-end testing, you might have to have longer scenario than this, or it depends. And sometimes you might have examples that have up to like 16 columns and yeah, rows as well. So if you're used to this long scenario, I believe you should be fine with that as well. And yeah, I go back to my page object. The next one is my town, and the after town is state. So I just go here. If you're very good with automation, you already know how to declare your object. If it's me, I already count how many steps I need. I copy and paste how many steps I need. I just alter it and I start putting my code, blah, 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 do my method, and I start fixing it. But because I wouldn't want to do that, I want you to understand it. I'll just do this, paste this address here, and I put town. So my town, I need to inspect it. Yeah, town or city. So anyone is fine. So I've actually put town in my feature file. You inspect it. Yeah, you can see. I have ID as well. Just copy it on here and paste it. Yeah. 1 of 2 is not actually on the page, but 2 of 2 is on the page. So you copy it. With ID, it's very good. It's just easy for you to just have the hash. Yeah, then I come inside these 2 That is fine for that one. Then I have to write my method. You write it, copy, and paste. And you change this. You want to enter address, enter town. Actually, you're not stringing address. You want to string town. You put it in small letter, lowercase, not small letter, lowercase. And this as well. Town. Yep, and you string the right. Yes. Yep, in lowercase as well. So this is fine. You go to your step definition. You can call your page object underscore. Yep. Dot. You should be able to see your town here. If you can't find it, something is wrong. Then open and close your brackets. And it's also suggesting that you should string town, which is very good, which is why we are using SpecFlow, Selenium, everything to help us with our automation. Already put town here, so I need to match it here to town. It's also here as well. So this is good. We quickly go to the next one, which is the state. You declare your reference first. You are adjusting this to state. So let's see, state also have ID. We are almost done. Yes, we also have ID. Just copy it. And here, add hash. State here. So I'm going to copy this. And yeah, so bring my framework. Then I paste it. Okay. Now I need to write my method. You write your method, you're going to declare it, you write it. Okay, just, yeah. So now I need to change this state. Find element, I change this to what? Put in to find, to say yes, state. Represent my element. And you do this lowercase and also lowercase for this as well. Yeah. So this is fine. I quickly do the last one before my assertion, which is and I click on create account button. Okay, I go my page objects, to declare my object reference, object. And this is, you can call it any name. You can call it button, you can call it register button, you can call it submit. It depends on whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to call it register button or create account button. Say create button. Let me make it easier. Let's say register button. Yeah. So our register button, I go on the website. Yeah. So now for our button, you right click as well. You see, our button also have an ID, which is good. You just copy it. You had the hash here to know, because you need to confirm every time you inspect your elements. Regardless of whether you see ID or not, you want to know whether the ID is not appearing anywhere on the page. So for this one, I will check it. So 2 of 2 is on the page, but 1 of 2 is not on the page. So I'm actually fine. I can copy it. Then I go back to my framework. Okay, and I paste it here. I need to write my method. My method is click. Don't forget, so that we don't copy the same keys when we get here. Well, it's going to click. How you can remember is that because you already have click at the top. So what you need to do, if you're forgetting, just trace back your work where you have click, copy where you have click, copy it like this. Because sometimes, because I actually know it, I can write it. But for some of us, if you are lost, just look for where the method for click is and just paste it. Yeah. And here you just change it to click. Okay, register. Then here is register. Click. Yeah. And I go to my state definition. Also, if you go to the top here where you have click, you can see how it's waiting. We did not string it. We did not, because we didn't pass any parameter. So this is how it should look. So if you're looking at, if you make a mistake by also putting string, please try to go to where you have click and try to see what you have done there. Because that is how you always learn when you make mistake. Just go here and yeah, dot click. I should say click. Yeah, click register button, open and close bracket, and two semicolon. Oh, sorry. I didn't do, okay, I can do the same key for this one. It should be enter state. State. States here. Okay, this should be the click. Click register button. Semicolon. Okay. So for now, I'm going to run this test. I'll comment out this. The reason why I comment out this because I don't want to have this amber to say that I'm missing one is going to skip another step. So I don't want it to skip. I want it to stop here. So when it stops here and it's actually fine, it's going to give me the green light to say pass. So now you can clean and build is fine, clean solution, because you want to run your test and also build your solution to see if there's any, you see, I have something here to say something is expected, which is good. So what is expected, I'm missing. Can you see? That is why we're using spec flow plus runner. You'll be able to fix. See, once that is fixed, I also have something missing here as well. That is fixed. Okay. So the next one is, okay, I think it's actually fine because of the scenario context. What I just need to do is just remove that. It should be fine. So gradually everything is kind of clear. This amber warning is fine. Sometimes it show like 5, 6, 7, but as long as it's not error, it will still pass your test. So now I need to review to see if there's anything coming up again. So I think everything is fine now. I have one succeeded, so I can now run my test. Hopefully the clicks are working as expected. Right click and run. Can you see? Everything passes. I don't know if you see it. If I run it one more time, it doesn't take time. I'll just drag it, drag the browser. Yeah. So that is it. So the last one to do is just to do our assertion now. So there will be a time when we talk more about this assertion. But for now, because of time, I'll just do only this one, which is the message. You know, I already did exploratory testing by putting what I'm meant to assert here. So the message I'm meant to see. So this is the message: the registration successful. Log into your account is displayed on the page. Okay, now I need to go to my page object, the objects, copy this as well. Call it success message, because that is the message you want to see, and you want to inspect it as well. I already have it here because I decided to save it so that I'll be able to inspect this particular message here. So I have it saved here. So what I need to do for your success message, you just right click and do the same, you inspect. So we have this ID here. It says dialog box, dialog text. So I copy the ID. I press Ctrl F and I paste it. Sorry about that. I had to attend to my son. Okay. So we can see 1 of 2 and also 2 of 2. So let's assume I want to use this code for now, because I could see something is wrong with this code, but for now, I just want to see if what I'm actually inspecting, the element I found here will actually work for me. I'll just copy this and I go to my page object and I put the code here. I put the element. Also, for assertion, instead of public void, we have to use public bool, because we want it to return, to say that it should return that particular message for us. The message is going to say on the page. So we have to write it like we write public bool. You can say then. You open and close your bracket. Now we want it to return. We just say return driver. Dot find element, brackets. At the top, we put success message. You can copy. Dot display. you should be able to see display, and you put your semicolon. So now you're done with that. You go to your steps. So here we want to assert this particular one, because for assertion, there are different ways you can assert, you can do your assertion, but we want to use the N unit for assertion. We already have the fluent, and I can show you if you start by saying the assert. You can see on the screen is showing to us we have a fluent assertion. But for us to be able to completely use it, we need to, if I put dot, it's not going to respond. So for me to be able to use it, I need to have this nugget package, which says N unit. So I just come to my project here, I right click and I go to manage nugget. Then I come to my browse here and I put N unit. So, okay, N unit. So I pick the first one. The first one is saying N unit is a unit testing framework for all language with strong TDD focus. So I pick the first one and I installed it. So it's going to say, okay, and I click okay, and I click accept. For some people, it might throw some error. Okay, I think it's ready. So I can close this tab now and I can now use it. When I put the dots, yes. So because I have the Nugget package here, now I can use the NUnit framework to do my assertion. So once you click the first one, you can now put your dots. What did I want to do? Is true. I want to say is true. Okay, now open and close brackets. What do I want to do? Registration. Dot. It's supposed to be lowercase. Okay. Registration page. I said it's true. Successful message displayed. Yeah. My semicolon and a string the message. So here, string. Okay. Something. Void. Okay, then the copy from here. Here. Okay. Search. True. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, you can see I was seeing some kind of error here. So what I did was just to look thoroughly and try to fix it. So actually I did not put the right page object I'm calling for my assertion. So here I need to put message. No, I don't think I need to put it. Okay, it's fine. So now I will run my test again, because that is the last one, the last step. Something is not right. This is the third time it's going to run. Something is not right, and it's going to fail. And why we use the Spectrum plus Spectrum is because we're able to generate a report, and now you can just click on it to see. Now, it's saying to me, yeah, the assertion expecting true but false, and what is the issue? Okay, now I'm going to look at my element again. I go back to my environment. Now, because I have success notification, I have this, so many things can be going wrong here. And also, if you inspect the element, you can see it's in a container. Sometimes you need to just open the div. So what I've just done is just to open this particular div here, and I'm going to use this element here. I'm going to use the CSS there. Just copy and yep, and paste it. So it's actually giving this to say that the model panel. So I'm going to use the model panel, and I go back to my code and just it should be fine. And what I just need to do, just go straight to my page object. Nothing else. Go to where you have the object and just replace it with that particular one and just save it. Yeah, nothing else. Then try and rerun your test. Oh, sorry, I actually pressed debug. I'll stop it. So this is debug mode. Okay, expecting true but false.
Hello, Abimbola.
Hello?
Yeah, when you put the other one, I think, when you declare that object, I think that method should be that same thing as well.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, then if you go down to the method, I think you're supposed to put something of that nature, then you now go to the other page to put that same, what you have copied down. I'm just thinking. Thoughts.
Okay.
Because you said when we declare any object, then we should always do the method or something.
Yeah, but this one is, we are returning it.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Let me run it again. I'll just.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. I think we should stop here because what you are trying to assert is a bit advanced, which I don't want to complicate the issue. So if you go back to the place, right? There are
I
a lot of
think I
syntax.
actually find a solution for that particular one.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes you have this message. So what you just need to do is just look for your tax manager and just kill it. Kill your Chrome driver. Yeah, there should be a Chrome driver. Yeah, just type in. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Just build it again. Okay, it's fine. Okay, do you want me to run it or you want me to go on the website?
Go and inspect again. Let's check.
Okay.
Because you want to be sure that it's not wrapped in a frame, right?
Yeah.
So and if it's wrapped in a frame, we'll skip that for today. I think you should, yeah, because I don't want to confuse them.
Actually open it and try to use this one.
Okay.
Okay, let me just run it for the last time. If it fails, then we can continue from there in the next class. Yeah. Yeah. So we will stop here for now. In the next class, we talk about the assertion because the PO has spoken that what I'm trying to assert is actually big for today's class. So the next class will be, we start with the assertion. So what we can do here is just to put my comment here, and so that every other test will pass. So what I'll just do is just come here and run the test again. And I want everybody to also do the same to where I stopped. I believe I take so much time to explain, and it should be clear. Yes. Okay. Any question? Are we confident to replicate this?
We will try.
We will try.
That's
No day.
long
Give
explanation.
your code to us to copy.
Oh, no. Do you think it's right if I send my code to everybody? Everything will just pass. Okay, I won't share my code. So did anybody have any question? We are supposed to do the invalid, but we can't do it now.
Yeah, I believe this is recorded.
Yes, it's recorded, yeah.
They can all go and watch the video over.
3 times.
Any question?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Thank you so much, Abimbola.
Okay. Yeah.
The question I have is the time you're, getting your element.
Yeah.
I wish you can go back there. There's something I just want to Please, I don't want to disturb you then.
No problem.
Yeah. When you click something and you're down part of it, maybe one element that is sharing.
This one. This one.
Not
inside this, Dave.
No, you see where the codes are, like this yellow something, down part of it, you see something like CS selector that you click, and you see a number of things down of it that you can, when you say one out of,
which one are you talking about?
Is the plugin that she's talking about, the plugin that you added.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've not seen that before.
Neither have I as well. The plugin that you want, this CSS selector that you're using.
Yeah,
that is the one she's talking about. I think is in the arrow, right? The extension that you added to the.
Yeah. Where's the extension? Is it this one?
No, not that one.
I'm not seeing it. It should be down here, down here, and it will be in a kind of block.
Where you select the right
exactly
DOM that you want.
Actually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you forgot
this window down.
Yeah.
Okay. This one.
Where you normally say Control F.
This is Control F.
Before you do Control F, Control V.
That window under it.
The window under is that you.
Not this one. I think that there's an extension that you added.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm using an extension.
Exactly. That's what they are.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
This one. This is a magic one.
Mr. Deji,
I was confused, and that is where I stopped.
Yeah. How do I get this, please?
Yeah.
You go to Google and you just put Chrome.
Okay.
Chrome helper. Then you can put Chrome extension.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even taking the picture.
You should be able to see it. It's an extension. Can you see?
Okay, it's an extension. Okay.
Yeah, it's an extension.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, Chrome extension.
Okay.
It's an extension anyway.
So when you click it, what do you do?
Yeah, it comes here.
Okay, it comes there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
CSS selector helper, and I also have the selector up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Fine. Any other question? We are supposed to do
question.
the invalid, but because of time.
I say anyway. Okay, I'll try to ask more questions.
Yeah. My question is it because we're using Chrome driver?
Yeah.
So that we are going into that Chrome extension?
Yes.
Okay. So what about if we're using another, like when the other time you were talking about some other listing that we use, which is not Chrome?
Yeah, which is not Chrome. We have to do that here in our hook. And also before we do that, before we put the one for Firefox is, I think, is Gecko. We need to install the Nugget package for that to be able to use the Firefox driver as well. We installed the selenium.webdriver.chrome driver for us to be able to use the Chrome driver for us to be able to use Chrome. But for Firefox, we need to have the Nugget package, which is selenium.gecko. If you go to here. And
Abimbola, I think is asking if the extension that you added is only particularly for Chrome driver.
Yes, it's particularly for Chrome.
Can you still use what you find using that extension with IE driver or Firefox driver? Which I think the answer is yes, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it's yes. Definitely yes.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please, Abimbola, sorry. When you go to step definition, there's something I want to show you.
Okay.
Please. Step definition.
Yep.
Okay, go up a bit, please. Please, I just want to know, okay? You put the link here in this step definition here. Okay. My question now is, in a scenario whereby you have other, scenarios in terms of valid, invalid, about 2 or 3, and you want to create a background for, the common, the steps that are common. So how do you do it if your link is in this step definition?
Nelly,
Yeah.
watch out for part 2.
Okay.
Abimbola said she would do the background next time, right? Abimbola, is that right?
Yes, exactly.
So I think that will keep you coming for the next
Okay,
what?
sir. Thank you. Okay, let me leave other questions till
Okay.
there, please. Thank you, sir.
Please,
All
silent means everybody knows it. Please ask question now. Don't send me message.
Abimbola,
Yep.
you said earlier on when you started the training that we can delete the calc under the feature and create another one. You said you're going to run.
Okay.
Let's do that, yes.
Okay. Now we want to create another feature file. You just come on your folder, you right click, and you click add new item. So new item here, because it's a feature file, you need to select spec flow. And you select the first one, spec flow.feature file, the one that supports your feature file. And here you have spec flow feature. By default, it will give you a name. You can delete everything and just put what project you, let's say the next one will be login. Let me put login now, so that when we do the next one. So if I put dot feature, is fine. If I don't put dot feature, it automatically put dot feature for me. Then I click login. Can you see? And I should be seeing this green thing to say that, yes, everything is fine. And I have the calculator, I have the getting syntax. This is getting syntax. And it has given me the given when then, and I can, start doing my feature file from here, start writing my test script here. That is it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and once you clean and build, you will see it added to your test here. Clean and build. So now we have it added. Can you see? Login and registration. And also because I tag this one, I tag it as work item 111. If I just want to have this work item, I don't want to see login, just go to trait and filter. Because sometimes you might have too many tests you've tested, it's showing here maybe 200, and you just want to see the only one you're doing at that particular time. Just uncheck, and you can see I have work item 111. I just click work item 111. So that's the only one it will show to me. So can you see? I can only see the one I'm interested to see. So this is the only one, and I can run it. And this is good because sometimes you might be working in a place that there are a lot of scenarios already in the framework, up to 300 tests, 400, 500, and you're testing this particular story, and it has like 5 or 6 test scripts, and you just want to see only your name, only yours, just tag your work item and filter. You only show you 6 tests. So are we going to do this before the next class? I don't know when it will be, but yes. Let's do it and send screenshots on the platform. Yeah, let's compete with each other. And let's troubleshoot our code. If it's failing, put it on the platform. Look at my code. Everything is failing. Yeah. Silent means we understand it, or silent means, I don't still know.
Silent means we are confused.
Mr. DG.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abimbola, for this. This has been, wow, it's a long one. Yeah.
Nobody will come on the bottom and say, whenever DG says this, I get confused. Whenever Abimbola says this, I get confused.
But this is good. Well done, Abiola, for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any question before Abimbola leaves or everybody leaves? I'll stop the recording. Yeah. Thank you, Abimbola.
Thank you.
Don't stop fine, sir.